This topic is going to be about conversions. Now, conversions are going to be when we are trying to move from one type of unit to another type of unit. Anytime we do any type of those types of things and we're looking at two different options, we have to have a conversion factor. So one of the most simplest ways to think about this right off the top is we are going to be needing to look at a couple of options, like I said from the very beginning, some basic examples. So if I want to go from pounds to ounces, O-U-N-C-E-S, ounces, then I want to be able to go from pounds or ounces back and forth, and I have to be able to convert those. So what I have to do is look at their equivalents of each other and create kind of a factor and a step-by-step process to get there. So pounds, we have the abbreviation LBS. Ounces, we have the abbreviation OZ. So I have to kind of know right off the bat where these are going to go from. Most of these are going to be single step. Sometimes we're going to have multi-step conversions to go from one to the other. So pounds is going to be 1 pound, so 1 LBS is equal to 16 ounces. So I have to first establish my equivalencies. And then I can take those and put them into a fractional form depending on which direction I'm trying to go with my conversions. So for example, pounds to ounces, if I have 1.25 pounds and I want to go to ounces, first thing I'm going to do is figure out my equivalency. So I've got 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. That is then going to convert into a fractional equivalent. So 1 pound, 1 LBS, is over 16 ounces. So I can put my conversion in this order. I can also flip it the other direction and have it as 16 ounces per 1 pound, depending on, again, which direction I'm going. So in this case, I'm going from pounds to ounces. So when I'm going through and multiplying through these conversions, I want these pounds to cancel out, and I want to be left with ounces. So in my first step, when I'm looking at it, I'm going to be using this conversion right off the bat. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my value, 1.25 pounds, and I'm going to multiply it by my conversion factor. So I'm going to multiply it by 16 ounces per pound. And the reason for that is I want these pounds to cancel out and be left with ounces. So like I said, sometimes you're going to go through and you're going to have multi-step conversions, and you want to always make sure you're canceling things out because, again, this is just a fraction, and we're doing multiplication with fractions, and if we have the same term on top and the same term on bottom being multiplied by each other, we can divide them out because that's all fractions are, is just division, so it undoes those. So in the end, I end up with 1.25 times 16 ounces. And when I go ahead and do that calculation, the 1.25 times 16, 16 is 1, 25 is a quarter, so we have 4. So we're going to end up with 16 plus 4 ounces, which is going to give me 20 ounces. OZ. So there's kind of my basic conversions. Now this can be from anything. It doesn't have to be pounds, doesn't have to be ounces. Going backwards, if I had 40 ounces and I wanted to know how many pounds that was, I would take my base rate of 40 ounces and then I would look back at my two conversion factors. Now this one, I want ounces to cancel out and I want it to be left in terms of pound. So I want pounds on top, ounces on bottom, so that ounces gets away. So then I can go through and take this as 1 pound per 16 ounces. The ounces cancel out, and I'm left with 40 over 16 in terms of pounds. Now I can move that pounds out because it's on the numerator. It's also considered up at the top as well. So when I go through and do this calculation, I get 40 divided by 16, and that's going to reduce down to a total of 2.5 pounds. Okay, some of the other common conversions that we're going to be dealing with a lot is inches into centimeters. our imperial into metric, okay? So what we have here is 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So depending on which direction I'm going to use these two options as 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters or 2.54 centimeters over inches, depending on what we want to cancel out. Another common one that we're going to use is 360 degrees is the equivalent of 2 pi radians. So I will have my conversion factor in here, 360 over 2 pi, or 2 pi over 360. We can reduce that down a little bit. And what this one will actually do is break down till we get 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. So it makes it a little bit easier, a little bit simpler on the way to do that. And again, converting one from the other, we just have to take the multiple steps to get it converted into one unit that we need and getting rid of the other units as we don't need as we go along.